Therefore, three gods are personified as Brahma, Vishnu and Mahesh as per Hindu consciousness. Brahma is the universal knowledge that one can attain at the highest transcend point known to the greatest saints in the past. The great sages, rishis, attained the knowledge of the highest point of consciousness and passed on the message or knowledge through Veds. Initially by Shruti, the Sanskrit word Shruti means that which is heard. The Veds were preserved orally, and the name Shruti is relevant because people used to remember the Veds by listening to them. Astronomically, Rigved could be older than 200,000 BCE, Ramayana could be older than 728,000 BCE, a time before Dwapar Yuga. Mahabharata could be as old as 5565 BCE. The compiled knowledge of the Vedas, originally transmitted orally, was subsequently inscribed on palm leaves using sharp implements such as styluses. The revered sage Vedvyas, recognized as the author of the Mahabharata, is believed to have chronicled the events of the epic war he witnessed. This suggests that writing existed as early as 5600 BCE, allowing for the possibility of recorded history, albeit in forms that may no longer be accessible today. The University of Hamburg's Palm Leaf Manuscript Profiling Initiative, PLMPI, conducted by the Center for the Study of Manuscript Cultures, CSMC, suggests that the oldest Rigveda dates to approximately 1500 to 1200 BCE. However, the precise age of these ancient texts remains uncertain and may potentially predate this estimate, underscoring the complexities of dating historical manuscript sources. The term dharm, derived from Sanskrit, encompasses the concept of righteousness or the right way of living, distinguishing it from the more commonly understood notion of religion. Sanskrit, particularly in its Neo-Sanskrit form as seen in the epic Mahabharata, serves as a linguistic foundation for these ideas, while the ancient Sanskrit predates even the Ramayana. However, contemporary understanding may fall short in fully understanding the nuances of this ancient language. Therefore, difficulty in decoding the depth of Dharma as it was originally conceived. Religion is a school of thought or righteous path followed through fixed thesis. A sect or group of people believing in a particular thesis are followers of a religion. They are so-called religious persons. Dharma is a concept from an ancient Indian land known as Bharat. It encompasses multiple meanings but represents a singular idea of a way or path of life. Providing a concise definition of Dharma is challenging. Dharma also has connotations or indications of order, and when combined with the word Sanatan, it can also be described as eternal truth. Sanatan Dharma. Same exists in the story of four Kumars, namely Sanak, Sanandan, Sanatan, and Sanat Kumar. Four Kumars are born from the mind of Brahma and reside in Janalok, the fifth realm from earth or Bhu. They are devotees of Lord Vishnu, often associated with Bhakti Yoga, which is one of the four yogas mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. Bhakti, single-minded devotion; Gyan, knowledge; Raj, meditation until self-realization; and Karma, the action of selfless service. They roam throughout the universe, teaching without desire. Three main philosophies, Shastra in Sanskrit, in the Indian context are Shaiv, Shiv philosophy; Vaishnav, Vishnu philosophy; Vedant, based on the Vedas and Upanishads. There are many other philosophies like Shaktism, Bhagavatam, Jainism, Buddhism, Sikhism, etc., but all are intertwined. There is no single word equivalent for Dharma in Western languages or Abrahamic religions. Religion is defined as the belief in a specific God, as outlined in a holy book, accompanied by a structured system of rituals and practices. Spirituality differs from religion. It begins with the quest to uncover the truth of existence and is connected to the consciousness of the universe. The term Hindu refers to the land of 7 rivers, known as Sapta Sindhu, which is mentioned in the Rigveda. This term evolved from the Bharat land, comprising India, Pakistan, and Afghanistan, where 7 rivers converge at one point, completing the path to the Indian Ocean. The ancient homeland of the Aryans pronounced Hapta Hindu instead of Sapta Sindhu. The name Indu or Hindu may have originated around 2000 BCE, defined by geography by the people of Iran during the evolving Zoroastrian sect. The Vayu Purana says, "He who conquers the whole of Bharatavarsha is celebrated as a Samrat." The name-derived Bharat refer to the land that comprises as Bharatavarsha to distinguish from other Varsh or continent or a mass of land. The word Bharatavarsha is mentioned in 7 Purans like Vayu, Agni, Vishnu, Linga, Brahman, Skanda, and Markandya. The word Sana in Sanskrit signifies everlasting or eternal. The timeless essence of Dharma is reflected in Sanatan Dharma, the eternal path of righteous living. This ancient tradition is also embodied in Sanatan Dharma, where Sanak means ancient. It is ever blissful, hence it is referred to as Sanatan Dharma. It remains ever youthful, thus it is called Sanat Kumar Dharma. This spirituality involves a quest for eternal bliss in the pursuit of universal consciousness. That is why the so-called religion, Hinduism, is a way of eternal consciousness for life, and not merely a religion related to human behavior in society. The so-called Hindu religion is not a religion, but Dharma only. Hinduism is existence of astronomy related to celestial bodies like planets, comets, stars, constellations, galaxies, and solar system. The connection to cosmology highlights the relationship between Hindu philosophy and the understanding of the universe. Example, Vishnu lying as Adi Anant Shesh. Cosmology is origin, evolution, and fate of the universe, or can be said as Vishnu resting on Adi, Anant Shesh. Adi means beginning or primordial, while Ananta means infinite or endless, and Shesh means remainder or residue. So Hinduism cannot be defined because it's way of life. People living on the Bharat land are recognized as Hindus, may be following any religion or philosophy. That is why we find various cultures, traditions, beliefs, rituals, languages, and habits on same plane of Bharatavarsha. Hindu Dharma is path to transcend a state of awareness in which individual's consciousness becomes one with the universal consciousness. Thank you. My attempt to make one understand the concept Hindu Dharma, which distinguish from the common perception about religions, just like in Abrahamic system. We delve into the ancient texts of the Vedas, Puranas, and Upanishads from the sacred land of the Hindus. Let's begin with one of the Tridev gods, Brahma. Brahma or universe. The concept of Brahma encompasses the entirety of the universe and represents the higher state of supreme consciousness. Brahma, the creator, is the origin of all that exists in the universe. Knowledge, creator of ego, in Sanskrit, aham. The concept of knowledge is intricately linked to the formation of the ego, or aham. The aham, often seen as the core of our identity, is influenced by the knowledge we acquire throughout our lives. As we learn and grow, our aham evolves, reflecting our experiences and insights. Thus, knowledge serves as a fundamental creator of the ego. The concept of ego in English differs from that in Sanskrit. In Sanskrit, aham refers to self-recognition from I, while ahamkar represents a stronger form of arrogance. Brahmalok, also known as Satyalok, is revered in Hinduism as the supreme celestial realm and the abode of Brahma, the creator god, and his consort, goddess Sarasvati. In Vedic literature, cosmology is personified to provide a clearer understanding to the common people. In Hindu cosmology, The universe is structured into multiple realms known as lok. Traditionally, there are 14 loks, 7 higher realms, urdhva, and 7 lower realms, patal. In Hindu cosmology and spiritual philosophy, the 7 higher realms represent higher levels of spiritual consciousness. Bhuloka is the earthly place where humans and other beings reside. Bhuvarloka is the celestial realm associated with the solar system, recognized up to stratum Saturn. Swargloka is the heavenly realm inhabited by gods and goddesses with their king Indra, a realm of pleasure and fulfillment, but still within the cycle of birth and death, samsara. Swargloka is a realm between solar system and the pole star. All 27 constellations are considered in Vedic astrology as a part of Swargloka. Ursa Minor, also called Laghu Saptarishi, or the Lesser Bear constellation, is partly considered a part of Swargloka. Maharloka is inhabited by the Prajapatis and other gods. Maharloka is the realm that remains in the material universe, but a place for spiritual contemplation for liberation. Ursa Major, known as Saptarishi, or the Great Bear asterism, is associated with Maharloka. Manu and Shatarupa, symbolizing the dual aspects of a singular identity, are found between Maharloka and Janaloka. Janaloka is inhabited by the first mind-born sons of Brahma, such as the Sanat Kumar, Sanak, Sanathan, and Sanandan, representing a higher state of spiritual consciousness. Ursa Major lies within the Milky Way, the galaxy that is above the realm of stars. Tapaloka is the realm of ascetics and yogis engaged in deep meditation and austerities. Tapaloka is inhabited by immortal beings. It can be related to multiple galaxies or superclusters. Satyaloka is the highest realm, also known as Brahmaloka, the abode of Lord Brahma. It is the ultimate destination within creation, a place of moksha, in English, liberation. Each of these realms represents physical locations, but also levels of consciousness through spiritual progress. These lokas represent different stratums of existence, each associated with varying degrees of spiritual purity and consciousness. The concept emphasizes the Hindu belief in a structured universe where souls ascend or descend based on their karma and spiritual evolution. Let us explore further to understand about creation within our galaxy, the Milky Way. Predominantly, Lord Brahma is said to have 17 sons, often associated with the brightest stars in the sky, representing divine entities. The 4 Kumars are Sanak, Sanandan, Sanathan, and Sanat Kumar. They are the first mind-born creations of Brahma and are considered sages. The Kumars are said to have taken a vow of celibacy and to have traveled the universe teaching others. They are the 4 eldest sons of Brahma because they are at the realm above the Prajapatis. Comes the 5th creation, Swayambhu Manu and Shatarupa. They are seen as the dual forms of Brahma's creation, representing a singular essence split into 2. In other words, from a single unified essence emerged 2 distinct manifestations known as Manu and Shatarupa, symbolizing the dual aspects of a singular identity. The term Manvanta is the lifespan of Manu. It can also be said as age of Manu. Manu is the creator of existence, and Antar, in English interval, in short lifespan of Manu. There are 14 Manvantars, in one cosmic cycle, one kalpa, each lasting 71 yug cycles, that is about 306,720,000 human years. We are living in the seventh Manu known as Vaivasvata Manu. The first Manu was Swayambhu, meaning self-born Manu, the mind-born son of Brahma and husband to Shatarupa. Shatarupa, meaning 100 forms, is regarded as first woman to be created by Brahma. Now we will understand the term Prajapatis. The Prajapatis, the brightest stars in the sky, are the mind-born children of Brahma. There are 10 Prajapatis, out of which there are 7 sages known as Saptarishi. Prajapati word means Lord of creatures in the galaxies. The youngest daughter of Manu and Shatarupa is Prasuti, who is married to Prajapati Daksh. They had 60 daughters in first age of Swayambhu Manu. Later Daksh was reborn in Chakshush Manu as Prajapati Prachetas. The 7 sages, known as the Saptarishi, are represented by the stars in the Ursa major constellation, also called the Great Bear. It is well explained that the 2 front stars, Pula and Kratu, of the Ursa major asterism point toward the pole star, known in Vedic terms as Dhruv Tara. Dhruv Tara is farthest from the earth, which is a part of Ursa Minor or Lesser Bear or Laghu Saptarishi. The 7 names of sages in first Manvantar, known as Swayambhu Manu, are Atri, a legendary bard and scholar. He composed numerous hymns to Agni, in English fire, and King Indra. Moon is the creation of sage Atri. Vashist, one of the 7 great sages in the present Manvantara. Angiras, along with Atharvan, he is credited with formulating the Atharv Ved. Jupiter is the creation of Angiras. He is the mediator between human beings and God. Pula was born from Brahma's head and gained profound knowledge from Sanatan, one of the 4 Kumars. Sanatan, being a great sage, imparted spiritual wisdom and understanding to Pula, enabling him to gain significant knowledge of the universe and its workings. Pulastya, a medium through which some of the Puranas were communicated to humans. Pulastya was born from the ear of Brahma. He is father of sage Agastya. Kratu appears in 2 different ages. Kratu was born from the left eye of Brahma, which indicates a star from Ursa Major pointing towards the pole star or Dhruv Tara. Marichi, a ray of light, and one of the 7 great sages. Sage Kashyap is son of sage Marichi. The rest of the 4 Prajapatis are Bhrigu, the first compiler of predictive astrology. Venus is the creation of sage Bhrigu. Narad, a Vedic sage who is devotee of Lord Vishnu. He demonstrates Bhakti Yoga. Jambavan emerged from the mouth of Brahma when the creator deity yawned. Jambavan was present at the Samudra Manthan and is supposed to have circled Vaman Avatar 21 times in a single leap when he was acquiring the 3 worlds from Daitya king Mahabali. Such knowledge is not yet explored by us. Jambavan is present for the birth of both Sri Ram and Sri Krishan. His daughter Jambavati was married to Krishan. Jambavan is brother of sage Narad. Yam is the god of death and justice. His abode is Narakloka, known as hell in Abrahamic religions. Now, we have explored the higher realms in Vedic literature and the physical order of the universe, which is not explained in today's known cosmology.
Let us explore some significant time cycles in the Vedic literature of Hinduism. Yuga and Manvantar are essential to understand from a universal perspective, as they outline the cyclical nature of cosmic time and human evolution. Additionally, concepts like Parad and Kulp are crucial when studying Lord Vishnu and the notion of multiverses. These terms help us grasp the vastness of cosmic time and the endless cycles of creation and dissolution. We will delve deeper into the concept of Kalp later to understand its significance in Vedic cosmology. What is Yuga? Yuga is a vast period of time in Vedic cosmology, representing different stages of cosmic evolution. The term Chatur Yuga, where Chatur means four, refers to a complete cycle of four distinct yugas. First is Satya Yuga, the longest yuga, lasting 1,728,000 solar years. This is an era of truth, righteousness, and divine presence. Second is Treta Yuga, lasting 1,296,000 solar years. In this period, Dham declines slightly and humanity begins to experience divisions and conflicts, yet righteousness still prevails. Dwapar Yuga, the third Yuga, lasting 864,000 solar years. The decline of Dham accelerates and spiritual knowledge becomes less accessible, leading to greater materialism and strife. Kali Yuga, the final and shortest Yuga, lasting 432,000 solar years. This is an age of ignorance and moral decay, where Dham stands on only one leg. It is the age we are currently in, marked by conflict, greed, and spiritual decline. A complete Chatur Yuga cycle lasts 4,320,000 solar years, after which the cycle repeats, continuing the eternal rhythm of cosmic time. Now let us know, what is Manvantar? Manvantar is a cosmic time cycle, each ruled by a Manu. Sometimes the term Manu is also used to refer to the entire cycle itself. Each Manvantar consists of 71 Yuga cycles, known as Chatur Yugas, which include the four Yugas. Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapara Yuga, and Kali Yuga, progressing in a 4:3:2:1 ratio, with each age being 1/4 shorter than the previous. A Yuga has three phases. Yuga Sandhya, a dawn, the transition period before the main Yuga begins. Main Yuga period, the primary duration of the Yuga. Yuga Sandhyamsha, a dusk, the transition period before the next Yuga begins. Each twilight, whether dawn or dusk, lasts 1/10 of the main Yuga period. The total duration of one Manvantar is 306,720,000 solar years. At the end of each Manvantar, a Manvantar Sandhya is equal to a Satya Yuga cycle occurs, marking the transition from one Manu's rule to the next. We are currently in the 7th Manvantar, known as Vaivasvat Manvantar, within a total cycle of 14 Manvantars. The first Manvantar was Swayambhu Manu, preceded by Adi Sandhya, the primordial dawn. At the end of each Manvantar, during the Manvantar dusk, the earth is submerged in water, marking the transition to the next Manvantar and the beginning of a new cosmic cycle. This event signifies a Pralay, a cosmic dissolution, which extends up to the fourth realm, Maharlok. Manu and Shatarupa reside above Maharlok, in the higher realms where the Prajapatis dwell, but they do not reach Janalok. The fifth realm, Janalok, where the four Kumars reside, remains unaffected by Pralay. The Kumars continue to guide the new Manu during this transitional phase. The earth remains submerged for a period equal to Satya Yuga, after which a new Manu takes reign, marking the beginning of a fresh cycle of creation and dissolution. During this transition, all deities, Saptarishis, and beings from the previous cycle are replaced. This is why the names of stars, such as those in the Saptarishi constellation, change with each Manvantara. Thus, Daksh was reincarnated as Prachetas during the Chakshushmanu period. In this birth, his wife was Asikni, whose name means night or darkness. This union symbolizes the balance of creation, where the efficient creator, Daksh, and darkness, Asikni, come together to generate diverse life forms, continuing the cosmic cycle. As Prajapati Daksh in his Pracheta's incarnation, he initially followed Brahma's instructions by creating beings from his mind. However, he later adopted sexual reproduction as a more effective means of creation. With Asikni, Prajapati Daksh fathered 10,000 Haryashvas and 10,000 Savalashvas, who were destined to procreate. However, the divine sage Prajapati Narad Muni chastised them for their childlike approach, questioning how they intended to produce offspring without first understanding the surface of the earth and its circumference. He warned that ignorance in creation could lead to imbalance. Seeking knowledge, the Haryashvas followed the path of the wind and never returned. The Savalashvas ventured to explore the boundaries of the earth, but they too never came back. This signifies that Brahma's ordained course of creation remains unchanged in every Manvantara, ensuring the cyclic continuity of cosmic order. Now, let us explore what is Kalpa or Kalp. One Kalp time cycle is a day of Brahma, which lasts for 4.32 billion solar years. One Kalp is equal to 14 Manvantars. The next Kalp is a night of Brahma, lasting the same duration as the day of Brahma, during which only darkness prevails. A Kalp is followed by a Pralay of equal length, which together constitute a day and night of Brahma. A month of Brahma contains 30 such days and nights, or 259.2 billion solar years. There are 12 months of Brahma, constitutes 1 year or 360 days. 100 such years is life of Brahma, called as Mahakalp. We are now in the Shveta Varaha Kalp, or the first day of his 51st year. At the end of Mahakalp, the entire universe will be annihilated by fire. This is the end of Brahma period, called as Mahapralay. We are currently in the 7th Vaivasvat Manvanpantar, the 28th Chatur Yug out of 71. We are in Kali Yug, which lasts 432,000 solar years and have completed approximately 7,000 years. There are 425,000 solar years remaining in Kali Yuga, after which the 29th Chatur Yuga will begin. The current Manvantar will conclude at the end of the 71st Chatur Yuga. I would like to share some key information from the Puranas. According to the Vayu Purana and Matsya Purana, Avatar Ram appeared at the end of Treta Yuga in the 24th Chatur Yuga cycle. The Padma Purana states he also appeared in the 27th Yuga cycle of the last or the 6th Manvantar. According to Vayu Purana, Vaman's third appearance was in the 7th Treta Yuga. According to the Vishnu Purana, Kurma Purana and Shiv Purana, a different Rishi Vyas comes at the end of each Dwapar Yuga to write down Ved, in English knowledge, to guide humans in the degraded age of Kali Yuga.
Building on our previous discussion, we now explore the creation of the universe according to the Veds and Puranas. Before diving into the process of creation, it is crucial to understand the 7 higher realms and the cosmic time cycle. Swayambhu, the self-born, is also Brahma, the universe, so named because he is said to have emerged from a golden egg, as stated in the Manu Smriti and Srimad Bhagavatam, while the Mahabharata refers to him manifested from the lotus that emerged from Lord Vishnu. The Nasadiya Sukt begins with the statement. First, Shloka, then There was neither non-existence nor existence. There was no space then, nor sky above. What covered it? Where was it? In whose protection? Was there then cosmic water, in depths unfathomable? The Nasadiya Sukt ponders existence before creation of sky, no air, no water. There was, or was not, something, yet none can say what, where, or how it was covered. The Big Bang Theory says that the state of singularity in unknown realm of infinite density, much like the enigmatic cores of black holes. In physics, a singularity is a point in space-time where the gravitational field and density of a celestial body are infinite. This means that space and time no longer operate as they do normally. When a galaxy or massive star collapses into a black hole, it compresses matter to an extreme density. Some other theories propose that the matter absorbed by black holes could be stored or even funneled into another universe or a future cosmic cycle. While the traditional Big Bang Theory describes the universe as originating from a singularity and expanding outward, some theories suggest that black holes might play a role in the cosmic cycle. The Big Bang Theory does not explain the very first creation of the universe. Big Bang emerges from the remnants of the previous universe. It applies only after the existence of universe, particularly to the life cycle of stars and galaxies, including their death and rebirth. The idea of a deep, unfathomable void before creation has parallels with modern cosmology, where the early universe was a singularity or quantum fluctuation before expansion. The reference to cosmic water in the Vedas is a poetic and philosophical way of describing the primordial state of existence. Second shloka. Then there was neither death nor immortality. Day was no different from night. The one that breathed windless with inherent power, therefore, was that one then, and there was no other. The Nasadiya Sukt states, before creation, the concepts of life and death did not exist. There was no cycle of birth and decay. There was no separation of light and darkness, no celestial bodies to mark time. It refers to a singular, self-existent force that existed beyond material reality, sustaining itself without external elements like air. Only this primordial entity or force existed with nothing else alongside it. Third shloka. At a point, there was only darkness, wrapped in darkness, concealed, inseparable, unstable. It was all the cosmic water. The unborn enclosed in void was concealed with whatever exists. Arose at last the mighty one, born of the power of heat. The Nasadiya Sukt describes darkness wrapped in darkness, which can be linked to dark energy wrapped in dark matter. The matter is inseparable and unstable. A sudden fission occurs due to heat, bringing forth light and energy from dark matter. Thus, creation begins. Dark matter and dark energy are mysterious substances that affect and shape the cosmos, and scientists are still trying to figure them out. Dark matter makes up about 27% of the universe's total mass and energy. Combined with dark energy about 68%, these unseen forces account for 95% of the universe. The remaining 5% consists of normal matter, like stars, planets, and everything we can see. Fourth shloka. At first, the desire developed, churning the foundation. That was the primal seed born of the mind. The bond of existence he found in non-existence. The sage, in his heart, was searching through knowledge. This verse speaks of the emergence of desire or calm, which arose from the mind, marking the beginning of creation. The sage, embodying wisdom, searches for understanding, finding the essence of existence not in tangible reality, but in the void. It suggests that knowledge and wisdom transcend mere physical existence, pointing to a deeper, spiritual truth. 5th shloka. And they have stretched their cord across the void, and what was below exist, and what was above exist, was the great creator of fertile seed. Self-manifestation was below the effort, beyond. This verse symbolizes the divine force that bridges the void, creating the several realms. The fertile seed represents the origin of creation, with the creator transcending effort, manifesting existence effortlessly. It highlights the mysterious and powerful nature of creation, where everything emerges from the divine, transcending all efforts or limitations. 6th shloka. Who truly knows what in this world about which one can say whence it all came and how distinct creation happened? The gods themselves are later than creation, so who else then knows whence it came into existence? This verse reflects the ultimate mystery of creation. Even the gods, beings of great power, were born after the universe was created. It questions the very origin of existence, acknowledging that no one, divine or mortal, can truly know how or where creation began. It underscores the ineffable nature of the universe's origins, leaving the mystery open and beyond human understanding. 7th shloka. Whence all comprehensive creation happened from its origin, whether he manifested it or whether he did not, who supervises it all from the highest heaven. Indeed, he really knows, or maybe even he does not know. The Nasadiya Sukt ponders when, why, and through whom the universe came into being in a contemplative tone, and provides no definite answers. It raises the possibility that even the highest being who governs the universe might not fully grasp the mystery of its own origin. Rather, it concludes that the gods too may not know, as they came after creation, and that even the highest supervisor of that which has been created in the highest realm may or may not know. Now we have understood Nasadiya Sukt, what it is, what it means. Next is Hiranya, garb or golden womb from Rig, Ved. The Hiranyagarbh Sukt declares that universal consciousness manifested himself from the beginning as the creator of the universe, encompassing everything, including his own totality. This manifestation represents the supreme knowledge of the entire creation. Hiranyagarbh is a key concept in Vedic philosophy, often referred to as the golden womb or golden egg. It represents the primordial source or cosmic seed from which the universe is said to have originated. In the Rigved, Hiranyagarbh is depicted as the initial, formless entity that existed before creation and is considered the first manifestation of the divine. It is a source of life and creation, embodying the idea that the universe emerged from a singular, unified point. According to Vedic texts, Hiranyagarbh exists before the physical universe takes shape. It is the divine consciousness from which the world is born, often associated with the concept of Brahman, the ultimate reality. Hiranyagarbha is said to have been the force that sparked the creation of the cosmos. The concept of Hiranyagarbha connects with the idea of a unified cosmic consciousness that transcends time and space. The Matsya Purana explains that in the beginning there was nothing, neither moving nor static. Then, Swayambhu, the self-manifested being, arose, a form beyond the senses. He first created the primordial waters and established the seed of creation within them. This seed transformed into a golden womb, Hiranyagarbha. Swayambhu then entered that egg. After understanding creation from Hindu texts, one may contemplate the application of fission theory to the universe's expansion. The concept of the self-born appears repeatedly in the Veds and Purans. Dark matter itself does not emit, absorb, or reflect light, making it invisible to our direct observation. Its presence is only inferred through its gravitational effects on galaxies and cosmic structures. Unlike fission, dark matter does not interact with light in the same way. It can be contemplated that dark energy is wrapped in dark matter, as stated in Nasadiya Sukt. Matter, at its core, is both inseparable and unstable. When extreme conditions, such as intense heat, arise from dark energy, a process like fission can occur within dark matter. In fission, a heavy atom splits into smaller ones, releasing significant amounts of energy in the form of light and heat. The idea that heat can cause fission and lead to the splitting of atoms is well established in nuclear physics. In the case of fission, the atom breaks apart into smaller, more stable fragments, releasing energy in the process. This is the principle behind nuclear reactors and atomic bombs. After fission, if the temperature and pressure are high enough, like in the core of stars, fusion can occur. Fusion is the process where two light atomic nuclei, typically isotopes of hydrogen, combine to form a heavier nucleus, releasing even more energy than fission. This aligns with the idea of a self-manifested being, creating the golden seed, which then entered the cosmic egg. Just as fission occurs before fusion, the universe unfolds in stages, first through a sudden burst of energy like fission, then through an expansive and sustained process of fusion. Heat is the driving force, igniting fission, which in turn leads to fusion, allowing expansion and creation to continue. This mirrors the cosmic cycle, where the primordial seed gives rise to existence, much like the universe emerging from an initial singularity into vast cosmic structures. In verse of the Rigved, it is described Hiranyagarbha as golden embryo or cosmic egg that was born from the waters containing everything, which produced 4 Kumars, Swayambhu Manu, and Prajapatis. It then created mind, desire, and heat. Prajapati created the universe with Vaha, the goddess of speech, knowledge, and creativity. This is how creation began, and different realms were established with Dharma.
Now, we shall explore the nature of Savitur. Who is Savitur, and what does he represent? Is he merely a celestial body, or is he a divine force governing cosmic order? Let us delve deeper into his significance according to the Veds and Purans. Savitur is one of the important Adityas, born out of the union of Aditi and Rishi Kashyap. Savitur can be contemplated as the son of many suns, with a vast solar system revolving around it. The name Savitur originates from the Gayatri Mantra and various other verses in the Rig Veda. Though his characteristics resemble the sun, he is not the sun of our solar system, but rather the divine influence and power behind it. The Gayatri Mantra is dedicated to Savitur, one of the principal Adityas. Savitur is mentioned 35 times in the Rig Veda. According to Vaivasvata Manu, his father is Rishi Kashyap and his mother is Aditi, the celestial mother of the Adityas. Aditi is associated with space and mystic speech, Vacha. This suggests that Savitur exists between Maharloka and Swargloka. Maharloka is the abode of Prajapatis, while just below it lies the realm of the Saptarishis or Ursa Major, where Rishi Kashyap is one of the brightest stars. Savitur is a beneficent protector god, governing both the mobile and immobile, upholding all existence. This leads to the contemplation that Savitur could be the son of many solar systems. Savitur assisted Indra in shaping the universe. No being, not even Indra, Varun, Mitra, Aryaman, Rudra, can resist his will and independent dominion. This suggests that Savitur resides just above Swagloka, or it is the center of the Milky Way galaxy. What is Aditya? What does it mean? The Adityas are the 12 sons of Aditi and Kashyap. Among them, Surya represents the sun in our solar system. The Adityas uphold both the movable and immovable dham, maintaining the laws of nature and universal order. First, let us learn about the children of Aditi, known as the Adityas. They include the ideal sun, King Indra, Varun, Parjanya, Mitra, Ansh, Pusan, Dhatri, Aryaman, Surya, Savitur, Bhaga, and Vaman, the Vishnu Avatar. All are praised as equal, divine, and gods of creation. Aditi is portrayed as the mother of societal deities. Aryaman, the third son of Rishi Kashyap and Aditi, is the protector of the Milky Way galaxy. He is depicted as the mid-morning sun disk. In the Rig Veda, Aryaman is described as the guardian of mares and stallions, with the Milky Way considered his path. Let us explore more about sun or Surya. Other names of Surya in ancient Vedic literature include Aditya, Arka, Bhanu, Savitur, Pushan, Ravi, Martanuja, Mitra, Bhaskar, Prabhakar, Kathiravan, and Vivasvat. We are currently in Vaivasvata Manu or 7th Manva Jantar, where Surya is named as Vivasvat. It is quite astonishing to learn about the 12 names of Surya. Are these names linked to different solar systems within the Milky Way, or do they represent Surya in different timelines of Manvantara? This remains a subject of contemplation, as the Adityas are cosmic forces governing universal order beyond just our solar system. One thing is certain from the Vedic texts. The Adityas are born with different names in various timelines, such as Manvantaras. As creation unfolded, different Adityas emerged in different yugs and Manvantars. Aditi, one of the wives of Rishi Kashyap, appear across multiple Manvantar, while others emerge anew in different eras. As of January 2025, astronomers have confirmed 4,354 planetary systems outside of our solar system. Before we conclude, let us delve into the Gayatri Mantra and explore its meaning. In Sanskrit,
Om Bhur-Bhuvah Swah Tat Savitur Varenyah Bhargo Devasya Dhimhi Dhiyo Yo Na Prachodhyat.
the divine realms, Earth, planetary system, and Swarg above, we meditate upon that supreme light of Savitur, the divine sun. May that radiant intelligence illuminate our minds and guide us toward wisdom. This mantra invokes Savitur, the cosmic source of light and consciousness, seeking enlightenment and higher wisdom. Now we will understand few terms before we begin with Sagar Manthan. What is Dev? Is it a god or something more powerful than humans? Dev is a masculine term and Devi is a feminine term. Dev is god and Devi is goddess, as a common understanding. In Vedic texts, every masculine term has a corresponding feminine counterpart, reflecting the balance of dual forces in creation and existence. In Vedic texts, devs are celestial beings associated with cosmic order and natural forces. They are not God in the ultimate sense, but are powerful entities beyond humans, often seen as embodiments of universal principles. According to Vedic literature, benevolent, supernatural powers are called devs. They are also referred to as Sur and are contrasted with their equally powerful but malevolent half-brothers, the Asur. However, even Asurs are devs in essence. Examples include Shani Dev, Rahu Dev, and Ketu Dev, who despite being classified as Asurya, are still revered as devs. Lesser gods, such as those governing fire, water, and wind, are also called devs. Basically, any force, element, or entity more powerful than humans is considered as dev. The word Ishwar does not appear in Rig Ved, but later appearing frequently in Vedic literature like Yajurved. It is related with the Supreme Being. Asurs are believed to be born at night and derive their strength from darkness. In Vedic texts, they are often depicted as powerful beings who thrive in the absence of light, both metaphorically and literally. Their association with night symbolizes their connection to hidden forces, mystery, and the unseen realms. This contrasts with the devs, who are linked to daylight, order, and divine radiance. The concept reflects the eternal struggle between opposing cosmic forces like light and darkness, knowledge and ignorance. The most intriguing part now is understanding Dev, Datya, Asur, Danav, Apsara, and other terms. Rishi Kashyap had many consorts, among which were 13 daughters of Prajapati Daksha, each giving rise to distinct lineages. Understanding their descendants and what they represent is essential before delving into Sagar Manthan. We will focus only on the most important wives and children, avoiding unnecessary complexities. Aditi, the mother of celestial deities, gave birth to the Adityas, 12 divine beings. Her children also include King Indra, Vaman Avatar, the Rudra, and the Vasu. One thing is certain from the Vedic texts. The Adityas are born with different names in various timelines, such as Manvantars. As creation unfolded, different species emerged in different yugs and Manvantars. The wives of Rishi Kashyap appear across multiple Manvantars, some consistently, while others emerge anew in different eras. Most creatures, including mammals and birds, are found from the second Manvantar onward. The children of her sister Diti are called Daityas, whose lineage includes Marut, Hiranyakashipu, Hiranyaksh, Holika, Prahlad, Virochan, and Bali. Maruts represent the air element and are known as the companions of King Indra, though they were intended to be born to stand against him. Muni, one of Kashyap's wives, is the mother of the Apsara and Gandharv. Apsaras are feminine spirits in Swargloka, often depicted as celestial fairies. They can change their form at will and are known for seducing rishis to prevent them from attaining divine powers. Gandharvs are musicians in King Indra's court, mostly handsome males, passionate about women. Apsaras and Gandharvs are often paired as husband and wife in Indra Loka. In Hinduism, a Gandharv marriage is one based on mutual consent, without formal rituals. Ursa is a Hindu goddess and wife of Kashyap, described as the mother of the Urga, primordial reptilians resembling dinosaurs. Dinosaurs are considered reptiles from that era. Danu, wife of Kashyap, is mentioned in the Rig Veda as the mother of the Danavs. The word Danu also refers to the primeval waters, which this deity may have embodied. Krodavasha, one of Kashyap's wives, is the mother of a class of Asur known as the Krodavashas. Due to her short-tempered nature, her offspring are ferocious animals, birds, fish, and all species with sharp teeth, in other words, carnivorous beings. Kamdanu, also known as Surbi, is a divine goddess and the mother of all cows. Though she is Kashyap's wife, she is often described as being in the possession of rishis, Jamdagni, and Vashishta. Aila, wife of Kashyap, is the mother of all vegetation like plants, creepers, and trees. Kadru is the mother of the Nag, a race of serpents. Her well-known children include Vaski and Thakshag. She had an uncordial relationship with her elder sister Vinata, another wife of Kashyap. Vinata bore two sons, Arun, the elder, and Garud, the mighty celestial bird. Arun is referred to as the rays of the sun, possibly including gases and a complex system of magnetic lines of force. Garud is described as the one who is fast, who can shapeshift into any form and enter anywhere. He is a powerful creature in the epics, whose wing flapping can stop the spinning of Swargloka, Earth, and Patal Loka or Hell. Garud becomes a literal embodiment of the idea, and the self who attached to and inseparable from the Lord Vishnu. Garud symbolizes the vast celestial bodies with cosmic storm, vulture-shaped, possibly at the boundary of universe or a path leading to Vishnu's abode. Depicted as vehicle of Vishnu, he is the half-brother and enemy of the Nags, the serpent children of Kadru. Garud is more powerful than King Indra and all the devs combined at Indra Loka. Our current knowledge is not yet advanced enough to fully understand or decode Garud. As Garud described in Vedic texts, an immensely powerful entity, or a celestial force capable of surpassing realms lower than galaxies with ease, possibly through destruction of gravity grids. Nags are also not easy to decode but can be contemplated as invisible lines of gravity holding celestial bodies together in a thread-like structure. On a large scale, gravity shapes the universe into a vast network of filaments connecting galaxies and clusters resembling a thread-like structure. Garud, a singular force, is constantly at work destroying Nags, which exist in thousands. This can be contemplated as one supreme force depleting the gravity grids, yet not entirely but allowing the universe to expand, while preserving balance and maintaining universal order of Dham. Throughout various Hindu texts, there is a natural alliance between the Daityas, Asurs, and Danavs, often fighting against Indra and his allies, the Devs. This ongoing conflict led to the categorization of Devs as the benevolent, powerful group and their opponents as Asurs. Devs symbolize light, while Asurs represent darkness, reflecting the cosmic struggle between order and chaos. Rakshas and Yaksh are characteristics found in human beings, often symbolizing opposing traits like mischievous and benevolence. They do not have a direct significance in the cosmic creation but represent forces that influence human nature and behavior. They are found on the realm of Earth. Recently, fossils of Vaski indicus were discovered in a lignite mine located in Kutch, a region in the state of Gujarat, India. This ancient snake originated when the Indian landmass was isolated and later dispersed into North Africa after India's collision with Asia 50 million years ago. Vaski shares characteristics with pythons. Takshak is known for its ability to glide through the air and is considered one of the most venomous snakes. Airavat, one of the 8 elephants guarding the universe's 8 zones, is the primary vehicle of King Indra. It has 4 tusks, 7 trunks, and a white complexion, resembling a mammoth from Pleistocene epoch. Now let us understand about the divine architecture of universe. Mayasur, a prominent Danav, was a master of Maya, an illusion, and renowned for his illusionary architecture. He was a rival to the divine architect Vishvakarma and is often linked to Ravan, who also mastered the art of illusion. Mayasur is credited with writing the Surya Siddhant, but he is best known for his architectural brilliance, creating grand structures imbued with mystical deception. In some parts of the Rig Veda, Vishvakarma is described as the personification of ultimate reality, the creative force present in all beings, living and non-living. He is revered as both the architect and divine engineer of the universe, existing beyond time itself. Before concluding, let us also know about healing. Dhanvantari is a divine figure in Hinduism, revered as the god of medicine and Ayurveda. Dhanvantari is mentioned as a healer and physician of the gods, associated with health and well-being. He is described as an avatar of Lord Vishnu and the celestial physician. According to the Bhagavad Puran and Vishnu Puran, he emerged from the Sagar Manthan or churning of the cosmic ocean, carrying the Amrit, an elixir of immortality in a golden pot. Stay with us as we unveil the deeper mysteries hidden within this grand celestial churning. In the eternal cycle of creation, preservation, and destruction, there are moments when the cosmic order is disturbed. To restore balance, celestial beings embark on divine acts that shape the universe itself. One such legendary event is Sagar Manthan, the churning of the cosmic ocean. This grand event is not just mythology, but a deep spiritual allegory. And from this churning emerged something so powerful that it led to the world's largest spiritual gathering, Kumbh Mela. Sagar Manthan not only gave birth to Kumbh Mela, where millions gather in search of spiritual elixir, but also to Maha-Shivratri, a night dedicated to the ultimate cosmic consciousness, Shiv, the Eternal. Why did Sagar Manthan happen? The story begins in the distant past when a great crisis struck the Devs. Devs, the benevolent celestial beings, and Asurs, the malevolent celestial beings, were constantly at war, and the Devs were losing their strength due to a curse by the sage Durvasa. He inherited Shiv's fiery nature, deep asceticism, and unpredictable temperament. Just like Shiv, he had both destructive anger and boundless blessings depending on how people approached him. One day, sage Durvasa, known for his short temper, was walking through the heavens when he met Indra, the king of the Devs. As a mark of respect, Durvasa gifted Indra a divine garland blessed with immense spiritual energy. Indra, in his arrogance, carelessly placed the garland on Airavat, his celestial elephant. The elephant, irritated by the scent, threw it to the ground and trampled it. Seeing this act of disrespect, Durvasa became furious and cursed Indra and all the Devs. Because of your arrogance, you shall lose all your strength, wealth, and power. As the curse took effect, the Devs became weak, and the Asurs, led by King Bali, took advantage of this and defeated them, gaining control over the Swagloka. Helpless Indra and the Devs sought help from Lord Vishnu, who advised them to churn the cosmic ocean or Sagar Manthan to obtain Amrit, the elixir of immortality, hidden deep within the Kshir Sagar. At the fifth realm, or below, Maharloka, is Kshir Sagar, the cosmic ocean. A temporary alliance. The Devs could not churn the ocean alone, so Vishnu advised them to form an alliance with the Asurs, promising to share the elixir. Thus, the greatest celestial event began, the Sagar Manthan, where cosmic forces joined hands in search of eternal life. The grand churning begins. To churn the ocean, they used mountain mandar as a churning rod, and Vasuki, the king of serpents, as the churning rope. But as soon as they began, the mountain started sinking into the ocean. While carrying the massive mountain, several devs and asurs fell to their deaths. To support the mountain, Vishnu took the form of Kurma Avatar, a giant tortoise, and held it on his back, allowing the churning to continue. The devs held Vasuki's tail and the asurs held his head, pulling back and forth to churn the ocean. As they churned, mystical treasures and powerful entities emerged from the ocean. Many celestial gifts and beings surfaced from the churning, each with deep symbolic meaning. sacred pilgrimage sites, and thus every 12 years the Grand Kumbh Mela is celebrated at these locations, marking the celestial event of divine grace. The battle continued. Mohini enchanted the Asurs into submitting to her terms. She made the Devs and the Asurs sit in two separate rows and at first distributed the elixir among the Devs, who drank it. An Asur named Svarbanu disguised himself as a Dev and drank some elixir. The luminous deities of the sun and the moon noticed the disguise. They informed it to Mohini, and she cut off the head of Svarbanu with Sudarshan Chakra. His head was called Rahu and his body Ketu, symbolizing North Lunar Node and South Lunar Node respectively. Since then, Rahu and Ketu became shadow planets, causing eclipses to take revenge on the sun and moon. In Vedic astrology, Rahu and Ketu follow an 18-year cycle, always 180 degrees apart, aligning with the moon's precessional orbit and the lunar node's rotation on ecliptic plane of Earth. Mohini distributed the entire elixir of immortality amongst the Devs, and Vishnu assumed his true form, departed to his abode. Realizing that they had been deceived, the Asurs engaged in combat with the Devs. Rejuvenated by the Amrit, the Devs emerged victorious and exiled the Asurs to the Patal Loka, regaining Svargloka. Shukracharya's quest for immortality happened before Sagar Manthan and was one of the key reasons why the Devs needed the Amrit in the first place to maintain the balance. This was meant to counteract Shukracharya's Mistrita Sanjivani, ensuring that both sides had a chance at power. Mita Sanjivani is a powerful mantra and knowledge that grants the ability to revive the dead. This sacred knowledge was obtained by Shukracharya, the guru of the Asurs, through intense penance to Lord Shiv. It emphasizes the cycle of balance. When one side gains too much power, the universe finds a way to restore equilibrium. Even though they lost the Amrit, the Asurs kept returning in different forms across ages. Hiranyakashipu, father of Pralad, an earlier but powerful Asur who was defeated by Narsimha Avatar of Vishnu. Emperor Bali, grandson of Pralad, a powerful and righteous Asur king who later challenged the Devs. Vishnu took the Vaman Avatar to subdue him. Tarkasur, an Asur king, gained a boon that only son of Shiv could defeat him. After Kartikeya was born, he destroyed Tarkasur. Yes, this is a recurring pattern in Hindu cosmology. Asurs gain immense power through Shiv's boons, but Vishnu ultimately restores balance by defeating them. This cycle ensures the equilibrium of power in the universe. Sagar Manthan is more than mythology. It symbolizes the eternal struggle between chaos and universal order, self-sacrifice and divine grace. Maha-Shivratri and Kumbh Mela remind us that through devotion, wisdom and perseverance, we too can churn the ocean of life and find our inner elixir, the ultimate truth. We have all heard that Kalki Avatar will arrive in the Kali Yuga of the 28th Manvantar. But is this really true? What do the Veds and Purans say about Kalki Avatar? Is it a real prophecy or just fear-mongering? Who is Kalki? And when will he come to earth? I will try to decode the truth about Kalki Avatar based on Hindu Vedic scriptures. But before that, we need to understand Pralay, the concept of cosmic dissolution. What is Pralay and Mahapralay? How many types of Pralay exist? What happens when the universe dissolves? Let us explore these mysteries together and uncover what the scriptures really say. Everything that begins must end, but in Vedic thought, this end is not final, it is transformation. Today we explore the concept of Pralay, the great dissolution of the cosmos as described in ancient Vedic and Puranic texts. What is Pralay? Pralay is the dissolution of the universe, when everything merges back into its source. In Hindu cosmology, the universe is not linear but cyclical, constantly moving through creation, sustenance, and dissolution. The rigged hints at this cosmic cycle, while later Purans give detailed descriptions of different types of Pralay. Let us know about the 4 types of Pralay. Nitya Pralay, the daily dissolution. Every night when we fall into deep sleep, we temporarily lose our connection with the external world. This small-scale dissolution is called Nitya Pralay, the daily dissolution of our waking reality. Being created, all matter is subject to constant decay and destruction and is often described to be a personal experience leading to a temporary earthly death. The mental state of the being is the result of one's own karma. In a nutshell, an ideal deep state of mind is the state of Nitya Pralay. Naimittik or Brahma Pralay, the cyclical dissolution. After every kalpa, 4.32 billion years, Lord Brahma, the creator, goes to sleep and the universe dissolves temporarily. This is a pralay, where the material world is submerged in water but not permanently destroyed. According to the Shiv Puran 2.1 verse 6, during Pralay, all mobile and immobile objects of the world are dissolved and everything gets enveloped in darkness. Without the sun, planets, stars, moon, etc. During each Brahma Pralay, everything up to Maharloka is destroyed, including 7 lower realms. The 3 highest realms, namely Satyaloka, Tapaloka and Janloka, remain intact during Pralay. In these exalted realms, the 4 Kumars, Sanak, Sanathan, Sanathan and Sanat Kumar preserve divine wisdom and possess the potential to restore Dharam in the next cycle of creation. A Pralay is an equal length of daytime of Brahma. In short, it is night time of Brahma. Prakritik Pralay, the total dissolution. The term Mahapralay stands for Great Dissolution and is synonymous with the Prakritik Pralay. When the entire cosmos dissolves into its primordial state, back into Mool Prakriti, the primordial nature, it is known as Prakritik Pralay. This occurs at the end of Lord Brahma's lifespan, which lasts 100 kalpa or 311,040 billion solar years. When the ether or akash is consumed by the flames of fire, the powerful winds scatter the remnants. The vayu or cosmic winds carry away whatever remains. Wind and sound permeate all of existence, merging seamlessly with fire as they absorb its attributes. When wind comes into contact with ether, it loses its elemental potency, causing ether alone to consume vacuum. This is the death of Brahma, the dissolution of the universe itself. A great cosmic fire emerging from Lord Shiv's third eye ignites the final destruction, engulfing all creation in flames. As the elemental dissolution begins, the cosmic waters rise, submerging and dissolving the material world. Guna, a Sanskrit word, attributes of nature, dissolve into the cosmic ocean, while ras, a Sanskrit word, flavors of quality, is consumed by fire. When the ether is devoured by the raging flames, the vayu cosmic winds scatter the last remnants of existence. Wind and sound spread through the void, merging with fire, absorbing their attributes and becoming one. Finally, as vayu touches ether, it loses its elemental potency, allowing ether alone to consume the vacuum, leaving behind absolute nothingness. Consciousness, shrouded in darkness, engulfs the universe, only to be overtaken by buddhi, the cosmic intelligence. At this juncture, the 5 main elements like ether, wind, fire, water and earth, called as Panch Maha, Bhut of Prakriti or nature, begin their reformation, merging back into their primordial essence. The Hiranyagarbh, the golden womb of Brahma, the seed of creation, dissolves into the infinite cosmic waters surrounding Prakriti. As dissolution reaches its peak, Prakriti fuses with Purush or consciousness, absorbing cosmic intelligence into its essence until all distinctions vanish and existence merges into the infinite Brahman, the ultimate unchanging reality. Once again, dark matter envelops dark energy, concealing it within. When Mahapralay occurs, the entire 14 realms, 7 dweeps, and every last trace of existence are completely dissolved. Everything merges into Prakriti. The entire universe collapses back into unmanifested nature, Mool Prakriti. The cosmic elements return to their primordial state, and an all-encompassing darkness engulfs everything, leaving only the unmanifest primordial nature in a state of absolute stillness. In Vedic thought, destruction is not negative. In fact, it is a necessary force for renewal. This is why Lord Shiv, the destroyer, is also the most compassionate. His dance, the Tandav, symbolizes the cosmic cycle of destruction and creation. At the end of Mahapralay, Lord Vishnu rests on Anant Shesh in the cosmic ocean, holding within him the potential for the next creation. When the time is right, Brahma emerges from Vishnu's navel, and a new cycle of creation begins. Atyantik Pralay, the liberation from illusion. The rarest form of dissolution is Atyantik Pralay, not of the universe, but of the individual soul. When one attains moksha, they are freed from the cycle of birth and death forever. Atyantik Pralay refers to the ultimate liberation, the dissolution of one's individual sense of self. It is attained through the realization of the divine, a state where one loses themselves in selfless service to the Paramatman, the Supreme Soul. This profound transformation comes with the recognition that the cause and effect dynamics of the material world are merely Maya, an illusion. Anything that has a beginning and an end is by nature impermanent and therefore not ultimately real. To transcend this illusion, one must conquer avidya, ignorance, by realizing that there is no separation between the individual Atman self and the Paramatman, Supreme Soul. When this ultimate truth is finally realized, the sense of self dissolves, merging completely with Brahman, the eternal and infinite reality, thus bringing about complete liberation or moksha. Scientific parallels, the Big Crunch, and the oscillating universe. Modern science suggests the universe might expand until it collapses back into a singularity, a theory known as the Big Crunch. Some even propose an oscillating universe, much like the Vedic cycles of creation and Pralay. Pralay is not the end, it is completion and transition. Just as night gives way to day, destruction makes way for new creation. The ancients saw beyond the temporary and recognized the eternal rhythm of existence. Perhaps Pralay is not something to fear, but something to understand. After all, endings are just the beginning of something new. Now let us get back to know about avatars of Vishnu. We are currently in the 7th Manvantar, the Vaivasvat Manvantar, ruled by Manu Vaivasvat. The 10 avatars of Vishnu in the current Vaivasvata Manvantar. In the present Vaivasvata Manvantar, Lord Vishnu is believed to incarnate in different youths. Rasringa. The presence of Parashuram and Ashwathama in this list is highly significant. Parashuram, an immortal being, is fated to return and participate in the new order. As we know that he is known as a slayer of the unrighteous rulers. Ashwathama, who was cursed by Lord Krishna to wander the earth eternally with festering wounds, was once a warrior of immense destructive power. His presence as a guiding force for Kalki suggests that he will transmit knowledge of warfare and divine weapons to enable large-scale destruction before the new cycle begins. The presence of stars in the new Saptarishi constellation, now bearing names such as Vyas, Kripa, and notably Parashuram, renowned for vanquishing corrupt rulers, and Ashwathama, known for his mastery of technological warfare and weaponry. It suggests a celestial alignment guiding Kalki's arrival in the Kali Yuga of the 7th first Chatur Yuga, the final epoch of the current Manvantar. Based on calculations from today, the estimated timeline would be 186.2 million years from today. Calculation for time remaining until 71st Chatur Yuga. Remaining Chatur Yugas. 71 minus 28 is equal to 43 Chatur Yugas. Time for 43 Chatur Yugas. 43 multiplied by 4,320,000 years is equal to 185,760,000 years. Based on cosmic time cycles, Kalki is expected to arrive at the end of the Kali Yuga in the 71st Chatur Yuga of the current Manvantar, approximately 186.2 million years from today. Let us understand it in a cosmic cycle of renewal. The selection of sages indicates that mass destruction will be necessary to restore Dharam, as Rishi Vyas will once again guide humanity in righteousness. The next cycle of creation will begin with a new Manu and a new order of celestial forces. The association of Parashuram and Ashwathama with weapons and warfare suggests that Kalki's time will be one of unprecedented conflict, paving the way for the rebirth of civilization under Savarni Manu. Thus, the fear-mongering around Kalki's early arrival is purely sensationalism. His prophesied road is not imminent. to human advancement, pioneering technologies such as the wheel, mathematics, and cuneiform script. Through this journey, we aim to uncover the vast and intricate wisdom embedded in Vedic scriptures and their relevance to human civilization. Stay tuned as we continue to explore these profound subjects. The Sumerian region, the cradle of civilization, was located in southern Mesopotamia between the Tigris and Euphrates rivers in what is now southern Iraq near the Persian Gulf. Sumer had a polytheistic religion that had multiple gods. A collection of gods is called a pantheon. The names of over 3,000 Mesopotamian deities have been recovered from cuneiform texts. The oldest known civilizations on Earth emerged around the Neolithic period, with some of the most ancient being are Göbekli Tepe, 9600 BCE, Turkey, the world's oldest known temple site, predating agriculture and organized settlements. Indus Valley Civilization, 8000 BCE, India, one of the earliest urban cultures known for advanced city planning, drainage systems, and script. Sumerian Civilization, 6500 BCE, Iraq, credited with inventing cuneiform script, the wheel, and the first recorded laws. Ancient Egyptian Civilization, 6000 BCE, Northeast Africa, renowned for monumental architecture, hieroglyphs, and a structured society. Norte Chico Civilization, found at South American continent, and Chinese Civilization are other oldest civilizations. Some Vedic sources suggest Bharatvarsh, India, as an ancient center of civilization, with Vedic texts possibly dating back tens of thousands of years, though mainstream archaeology attributes early settlements to the Mehrgarh culture 7000 BCE, preceding the Indus Valley Civilization. Archaeological studies show continuity in Indian civilization going back to at least 8000 BCE, with evidence of cultural levels from the pre-Indus Valley Civilization phase. Some evidence suggests that sites in the Indus Valley and other parts of India were established during or before the last ice age. DNA studies from the Rakhigari excavations in Haryana, the largest site of the Harappan civilization, reveal a distinct origin for the inhabitants of the Harappan civilization. The discovery of rock carvings, petroglyphs, in the Konkan region of Maharashtra, believed to be tens of thousands of years old, hints at a previously unknown civilization. Who were the Aryans? Where did they come from? Let us find out. The idea that Aryans were Iranians is a simplification of a complex historical and linguistic connection. The term Aryan comes from the Sanskrit word Arya and the Old Persian Arya, both meaning noble or honorable. Both Vedic Sanskrit and Avestan, the language of Zoroastrian texts, shared linguistic and cultural similarities. Example, Indra, Vedic, versus Andhra, Avestan. Asurs in Hinduism are malevolent gods, equals Ahurs in Zoroastrianism are benevolent gods. Some scholars propose that Indo-Iranian speaking groups migrated from a common homeland, possibly in the Central Asia, before splitting into Vedic Aryans India and Iranians Persia. The Rigveda and Avesta reflect a historical conflict between the Vedic devs and Iranian divas. Many Indian traditions consider the Aryans indigenous to Bharat, rejecting the migration theory and instead tracing Vedic civilization's continuity in India for thousands of years. The Parsi community traces its roots to Zoroastrians who fled Persia, modern-day Iran, after the Arab conquest of Persia in the 7th century. Today, the majority of Zoroastrians live in India, and they are known as Parsis. In short, Aryans were not exclusively Iranians, but Indo-Iranians, a broader ethno-linguistic group that gave rise to both Vedic and Persian civilizations. While linguistic evidence suggests Indo-European connections, archaeological and genetic data support the indigenous development of Vedic civilization. So the Aryans were a group whose influence and presence extended from North India to Iran. Sanskrit is a classical language belonging to the Indo-Aryan, and it arose in South Asia after its predecessor languages had diffused. Sanskrit is the sacred language of Vedic society, the language of classical Vedic philosophy, and of historical texts of Buddhism and Jainism, though Pali language was prominent at that time. The Rig Ved refers to the Indus River as Sindhu and describes the region as Sapta Sindhu, the land of 7 rivers. Persians in 6th century sons of Brahma, the creator of the universe. Sanak represents ancient wisdom. Sanatan embodies ever blissful knowledge. Sanatan signifies eternity, and Sanat Kumar symbolizes eternal youth. These 4 sages reside in Janloka, guiding the universal order through the cycles of destruction, sustenance, and creation. They maintain the order of Pralay and creation, but do not govern Mahapralay, the great cosmic dissolution. The Bhagavad Gita speaks about karma and the cycle of rebirth, core tenets of Sanatan Dharma. However, the term Sanatan Dharma itself is not explicitly mentioned in the Ramayana or the Gita. The Gita does use Sanatan in different contexts, such as Kula Dharam Sanatana, the ancient laws of a family, and Shaswata Dharamagupta Sanatana, the undying protector of eternal laws. This distinction is crucial as Sanatan means eternal, and Dharam means the natural order or the universal consciousness, but not in the sense of religion as defined by Abrahamic traditions. It is closer to an eternal universal consciousness rather than an institutionalized faith. Hinduism has survived for thousands of years, making it eternal in continuity. However, the phrase Sanatan Dharma as a fixed term is not used in the Mahabharata in the way it is today. Though Krishna is referred to as the undying protector of eternal laws in the Gita, the modern branding of Hinduism as Sanatan Dharma is a relatively recent trend. Thus, the belief that Hinduism and Sanatan Dharma are the same is a misconception. Over time, Sanatan Dharma has become a popular label, but in essence, Hinduism remains a way of life rather than a conventional religion. The modern narrative equating Hinduism with Sanatan Dharma is one of the biggest misconceptions. This idea has gained traction as a trend, effectively rebranding Hinduism, a vast evolving way of life, into a fixed religious category. While Sanatan Dharma refers to eternal principles and universal consciousness, Hinduism as practiced is a diverse tradition shaped by time, culture, and philosophy. Stay tuned as we uncover the deeper truths behind this ancient way of life. Before the emergence of the Shraman tradition in ancient India, the dominant religious framework was the Vedic way of life, which later evolved into what is now known as Hinduism. Hinduism, as understood today, emerged from the fusion of Vedic traditions, Brahmin ideology, Shraman traditions, Jainism, Buddhism, Bhakti movement, and diverse indigenous beliefs. During the late Vedic period, say 1100 BCE, Brahmanism developed in the Kuru Panchal realm, later integrating with non-Vedic traditions of the eastern Ganga's plain. This synthesis not only influenced what became Hinduism, but also contributed to the rise of Jainism and Buddhism. Vedic rituals including psalm offerings, fire sacrifices, and the Ashwamedh played a crucial role in early spiritual practices, alongside the worship of deities like Indra, Agni, fire, and Rudra. The Shraman tradition emerged as a parallel and at times a challenge to the Brahmanical sect of the Vedic structure. Unlike the ritualistic and sacrificial practices upheld by Brahmanism, Shaman movements emphasized asceticism, self-discipline, and direct spiritual experience. Traditions like Buddhism and Jainism arose from this school of thought, rejecting Brahmin sect authority and advocating alternative paths to liberation. At the heart of the Vedic administrative framework was the Varna system, which divided society into 4 classes. Brahmins, who are priests and scholars, Kshatriyas, who are warriors and rulers, Vaishyas, who are merchants and farmers, and Shudras, who are laborers and service providers. While initially based on occupational roles, this system later became more rigid, shaping social hierarchies that persisted for centuries. It focused on rituals, particularly sacrifices performed by priests called Brahmins to appease the gods. The Veds, a collection of hymns and rituals, served as the primary scriptures. The Vedic religion emphasized a hierarchical social structure with Brahmins at the top. Around 800 BCE, a new philosophical and religious movement emerged, known as the Shraman tradition. The Shramanans, meaning seekers, rejected the authority of the Veds and the Brahmins, seeking a more austere path to spiritual liberation. They emphasized ascetic practices, meditation, and introspection. Shraman traditions led to evolution of yoga, Jainism, Buddhism, some schools of Hinduism. Soon after the rise of the Shraman traditions, Jainism began to take shape with Parshvanath as one of its earliest known figures around 800 BCE. Emphasizing non-violence, asceticism, and spiritual liberation, Jainism emerged as a distinct path that challenged the ritualistic practices of Brahmanism while carrying forward the core ideals of the Shraman movement. The Vedic system is one of the major traditions which shaped modern Hinduism, though present-day Hinduism is significantly different from the historical Vedic way of life. Impact of the Shraman tradition is that concepts like karma, rebirth, and moksha, originally central to Shraman philosophy, were later integrated into Vedic Hinduism. It shaped Indian spirituality, encouraged meditation, monasticism, and ethical living, which became core to later traditions. The Shraman tradition was a powerful spiritual movement that reshaped Indian philosophy. By rejecting Vedic authority and focusing on self-discipline, non-violence, and direct experience, it laid the foundation for Jainism, Buddhism, and later developments in Hinduism. This path challenged the authority of the Veds and the dominance of Brahmin priests, promoting a way of life based on self-discipline, meditation, and renunciation. The Shramans rejected elaborate rituals and focused on direct spiritual experience, seeking liberation, moksha, through self-effort rather than sacrifices and priestly mediation. Revival of Jainism in 5th century BCE, led by Mahavir, carried forward the Shraman ideals of strict asceticism and complete non-violence. Buddhism, founded by Gautam Buddha, embraced a more balanced approach, emphasizing the middle path between extreme asceticism and indulgence. Another Shramanic sect, the Ajivikas, believed in a deterministic universe where fate governed all actions. Ajivika philosophy emphasized determinism, in Sanskrit niyati, rejecting free will and believing that all events are preordained by cosmic law, making human effort irrelevant to one's fate. Shaman, the lost tradition, not only influenced Jainism and Buddhism, but also reshaped Vedic Hindu thought. Many Shramanic ideas were later absorbed into Vedic Hindu philosophy, transforming its understanding of karma, rebirth, and spiritual liberation. The Shraman movement, a precursor to Jainism, Buddhism, Yoga, and some schools of Hinduism, emerged as an offshoot of the Vedic religion around 800 to 600 BCE. Vedism was centered around fire rituals, hymns, and sacrificial offerings dedicated to deities such as Indra, Agni, and Varun. Over time, as these traditions evolved, Brahmanism emerged during the late Vedic period, taking shape in the Ganga basin around 1000 BCE. While both Vedism and Brahmanism uphold the Veds as sacred, Brahmanism expanded beyond the early Vedic framework, incorporating new doctrines, philosophies, and practices. It introduced elements such as temple worship, puja, ritual offerings, meditation, renunciation, vegetarianism, and the central role of the guru, many of which were non-Vedic in origin but became integral to Vedic Hindu traditions. This marked the beginning of vegetarianism and the temple worship tradition, practices that were absent in early Vedism but became integral to later religious developments. This broader, more inclusive approach laid the foundation for the diverse and evolving traditions that later shaped Vedic Hinduism. Buddhism, which originated in India, started to decline in the 4th to 6th centuries AD. As Buddhism declined, Brahmanism, with its diverse traditions and practices, began to gain prominence. The Gupta period, for instance, saw the Guptas perform Vedic sacrifices to legitimize their rule while also patronizing Buddhism. At the same time, Buddhism was spreading across the world, driven by Emperor Ashoka's efforts through his missionary initiatives, inscriptions, and diplomatic outreach. In Bharatvarsh or India, not only did multiple religions emerge, but so did atheistic philosophical schools such as Samkhya, Mimamsa, and Karvaka, which rejected the concept of a central deity. Among the earliest organized religions, Jainism and Buddhism were pioneers in developing structured doctrines, centralized authority, and institutionalized religious systems. This redefined the concept of dharam, giving it a broader philosophical and ethical meaning with code of conduct that gradually became integrated into the Hindu Vedic system. Around the same period, Judaism was evolving with an understanding of dharam that bore similarities to Buddhist principles, particularly in its emphasis on ethical conduct and righteous living. By this time, Buddhism had already spread to Greece, Egypt, and Israel, largely due to Emperor Ashok's missionary efforts. His edicts and diplomatic outreach played a significant role in transmitting Buddhist teachings beyond the Indian subcontinent, influencing philosophical thought in the Hellenistic and Mediterranean regions. The concept of dharam gradually transformed as codes of conduct and centralized authority became defining features of emerging religious traditions. This shift marked the point where dharam evolved from a broader way of life into a structured religion with established doctrines and institutions. It was during this period that Judaism of Jewish people emerged with a formalized doctrine recorded in the Torah, laying the foundation for an organized religious system centered on divine laws, ethical principles, and communal identity. This marked the emergence of religion as a structured system, where sacred texts were written to establish doctrines and govern the conduct of the community and its followers. This is how the meaning of dharam evolved into the concept of religion, shifting from a way of life to an organized system with doctrines and institutions. The start of Bhakti devotion movement and what led to the rise of the Bhakti movement, the last lap for survival of Hinduism. The Bhakti movement began around the 7th century AD in South India. The Bhakti movement revived Vaishnavism and Shaivism by emphasizing personal devotion over rituals, making worship more accessible to the masses. It later spread across India, reaching its peak between the 15th to 17th centuries. The movement arose as a response to ritualistic Brahmanism, the rigid caste system, and later, the influence of Islam. It emphasized personal devotion bhakti to a deity over rituals, temple-centric worship, and social hierarchies, promoting love, equality, and direct connection with the divine. Poets like Kabir, Mirabai, Tulsidas, and Guru Nanak played a crucial role in spreading bhakti ideals. Rather than being an eternal universal order of cosmology, what is now called Sanatan Dharma is a modern interpretation of ancient spiritual idea, an evolving tradition shaped by history, cultural exchanges, and shifting narratives. Some schools of Vedic Hinduism, like Vedanta, Samkhya, and Yoga, were influenced by the shaman philosophy. The Hindu ashram system, which institutionalized renunciation within the Brahmanical social structure, may have been an attempt to incorporate the monastic tradition found in Jain and Buddhist orders. Buddhism and Judaism transformed the concept of dharam into a structured religion, introducing doctrines, central authority, and institutionalized practices. This shift laid the foundation for what we recognize today as organized religion, with Judaism later being classified under the Abrahamic religion, influencing Christianity and Islam. In the land of Bharatvarsh, the people were identified as Hindus, not by religion but by geography. Over time, the British colonial rulers formalized this identity, labeling followers of diverse traditions as Hindus, since India could not be defined by a single religion. Earlier, Arabs and Persians referred to the people of this land as Hindush, seeing them as a community rather than a religious group, which also led to efforts to convert them to Islam. This looming threat fueled the Bhakti movement, uniting people across religious lines and reviving the fragmented Vedantic traditions. Jainism, though deeply rooted in India, never expanded globally or even significantly within the subcontinent due to its strict practices and non-missionary approach. In contrast, Buddhism became the first religion to spread across the world, reaching far beyond its place of origin. It was the most influential and widely followed faith of its time. Hinduism, on the other hand, remained confined to India, fearing that intermingling with other cultures and traditions, much like what happened with Buddhism, would dilute its core identity. Meanwhile, the Abrahamic religions emerging in the Mediterranean region quickly adopted key strategies from Buddhism, such as missionary outreach, sacred texts, centralized religious authority, and the ability to adapt to local traditions. Judaism, like Jainism, remained restricted in growth due to its rigid practices. However, Christianity and Islam later refined and perfected the method of religious expansion, shaping the global religious landscape. Thank you for watching. I will return with more in-depth research on religion and its hidden historical narratives. Stay tuned.
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like the video. Another video is coming soon. Share this to your friends. Press subscribe button and like button.